let's that we got that going. And all right, so do that first.
Mr. Ellis?
That's me.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but I can't come to trap again because we have the ACT this weekend.
Oh, you're taking the ACT
Yeah.
Saturday.
Like right at 8 a.m. So I
Did you
will.
try a few tests
Yeah,
to practice? Okay.
exactly. Later.
Yeah, good. And then if you don't, you can take it again later.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
very good.
But I'm sorry, I
No,
didn't.
no sweat. I'd rather you be doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You
I will be
betcha.
there Tuesday.
Okay, good. Thank you, ma'am. Noah, how you been? Good. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
You got in there ice cream?
No, it's espresso and like milk and syrup, and it's good. I need my energy, Mr. Ellis.
Yeah, with coffee in it. Yuck.
Do you not like coffee?
No.
No.
Why?
Coffee makes me me.
Makes you what?
Me. I'm not me without coffee.
My mom and dad, my mother especially, she could not get her day going unless she had 2 or 3 cups before she left
Oh,
home.
not 2 or 3. I can do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, she'd have 2 or 3 and then she'd get in the car and she'd have remember those old little white styrofoam cups of coffee they still put out? She'd have one of those, so yeah. It was, where's Ellen? Look at that, Ellen. So, well, now that's an interesting little icon. What's that?
Looks like a bunch of hexagons.
Can you do what?
I
Sure,
can
yeah.
try.
Well, thank you.
That's historical.
Yeah, this
I
is,
just had history class.
this is, okay, if I told you his last name was Chamberlain, could you tell me what the big deal was about him being on a tie?
What was his name?
Chamberlain. He later became the governor of Maine and was also the, after being governor, he went and became the president of Bowdoin College.
Oh, I did not know that.
No?
Go back.
So you don't know him?
No.
Okay, you heard of Gettysburg?
Yeah, I've been.
Second day of the, first day of the battle, they had their lines drawn. They were on Round Top. And the Confederates came to their end and wanted to smash in that flank. They fought. They kept coming up the hill, And finally they said, okay, we're ready for the next charge. And they realized they didn't have any more ammunition. Might have had 3 or 4 rounds among several hundred. And so they said, Chamberlain, this guy, said
Which side was he on?
Union.
Okay.
And as a result, because it doesn't look like it does, it looks Confederate
It does,
almost.
yeah, I just.
So, so he said to his men, fix bayonets. We're going to charge with nothing in their guns. And they captured the entire army that was at the bottom. So it was unbelievable. They did it with empty
Wait, that's
guns.
cool.
So, yeah. So that's why he gained this little spot.
Are
on
you a
this time.
history buff?
Some parts of history. I am not all over the place history, but American history, yes. European, a little, that sort of stuff.
How'd you like the debate?
I didn't get to watch it. I was here until 8,
I thought you.
and I got home, and my wife and my daughter don't like politics.
What?
So guess what was on?
I
Hallmark.
don't even know.
Hallmark was
Oh, I
on.
love
I love Hallmark. Did you watch Hallmark with your wife and your daughter?
I did. I
Oh,
watched it.
That was the right choice.
That is the right choice. Do not watch the debate. Watch
The
Hallmark.
right choice is watching. Say what?
The debate was good this time.
Was
Like
it?
Trump was able to just stop and like. I
Turn
was
it
like-
off?
Yeah, he just every time she said let him, he just like it was like
a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we're all like,
So he did what he was told?
I know.
My gosh, somebody write this down.
I know.
If he could just keep his mouth shut,
and
we'd get
Biden
this guy to
called
win.
him, Abraham Lincoln, like it was his
Literally.
name. He was
Wow.
like, oh, he was like Abraham Lincoln over here, and like, but the way he said it was like so much like that. Literally was his name. We're all like, what?
Really?
But
Wow.
they both did good.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad to hear it was better than that first one. I'm telling you, I
Yeah,
only
well, the
saw
first one was
the
so
back half, the end, the last 45 minutes of that one was intolerable. I mean, it just was
Biden said you
intolerable.
take away the oil
Hey,
industry.
hey, are you coming to watch class today? No, look at him, look at him. No,
He's like,
no.
"Oh,
No, please, no, I don't want to be here.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Joseph Cameo.
Cameo, that's me.
That's you.
Now, just so you know, what we have is we're going over the study guide and the lab for the test, which is Monday. So
I can come back. I can do another day.
are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Got all year to get.
What do you
What
want to
is
do?
it?
What do you want to do? You want to grade yours against somebody else and go with this gentleman?
Josie, I can grade yours in a minute too.
It's just.
Let's see. Wait a
Josie.
second.
It's not a problem.
I can grade
Come
your
back.
stuff if you want.
So what he
Well,
wants
I
to
don't know
do,
what it is.
he wants to ask you some questions,
Yeah.
about 20 minutes or so, about being a senior and about your experience here, etc.
Yeah, sure.
And
I
she
loved
can
it.
grade your stuff.
I got her already.
You did?
It was so
So
fun.
you made her happy. There you
Yeah.
go.
It did. It was fun.
So it's up to you. And we'll do whatever you want. I
I
mean,
know, I like hearing it myself.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
okay,
It's not a problem.
we're good.
We'll come back.
Okay, we're good. How you
Will we
been?
have time at the end of this period, or do you have?
No,
something else?
it's only 35 minutes and I'm gonna
Oh.
probably not finish, so that's gonna be what we got. Okay,
Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Are
good.
you sure? Okay, thank you.
So what would you like me to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
What would you like
I
me to
kind
do
of
today?
Did it so the erector.
Relax.
fly. Is this whole thing?
Yeah,
So, I think a little while ago, we talked about like a letter of recommendation.
yeah. Are you in Score?
Yeah, there's a request, for a letter of
Like the white
recommendation
part
for
in the
you in
middle
school.
with the hair shaft and then.
Okay, I'll have it.
It's the-
When's the date?
So so November 15th.
Okay,
or-
got it.
This part with the hair shaft.
for the-
I have a bunch that are November 1st and then you'll be after that. That'll be great.
I like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Hello, Mr. LaPlante. Hello there, Ellen.
I just saw-
Nice to have you. By the way, just so you know, you're gonna be recorded on YouTube today, so we'll be able to see your nice faces on YouTube after the fact. Good grief, we got another one that's coming in. Mackenzie's coming in today.
She kissed it 10 times. I was like,
So
she's 10.
I'm doing this for Stephen Lee because he's in China and he looks at this stuff afterwards, so he'll need to see this little review. So, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I realize you probably don't know this, but the bell rang, and if it didn't ring, it's going to ring in a couple minutes. So be seated, take out your devices, and go to the lab, please. Gosh, we got somebody else here. Got another one coming in here. Look at this. We're having us a party here, you know? Lab books. Get your lab books out so we can grade them, please. Make sure you got that door there, boy. You got to pass. Okay. Well, they're telling me the bell is going to ring, or did it? Is that door shut? Okay, good. All right. Well, I want to get busy because here's the goal. We have to be done in just 35 minutes, and it takes longer than that to do this. So I'm going to do the Zoom, and you're going to finish up. But let's start with the lab 11, and what we've got to do for that, shall we? All right, let's do this here. No, that's not it. That's not it. And well, gee, that's me. It was for teachers, and I went and got one. Yeah. So yeah. See, it's one of those stogie cigars. It's longer than usual. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. So. All right, so here we go. And by the way, let's see if I can make sure I can get this. You guys sharing the screen here. Okay, can you guys see the screen and see the answers now? Yes, yes? Okay. Hey, Colette. All right, here we go. This is figure 11.1. Are we all ready on figure 11.1? Yes, yes. All right, number 1 is epidermis, 2 is dermis, 3 is subcutaneous layer, 4 sebaceous gland, 5 erector pili muscle, 6 hair follicle, 7 meacrine sweat gland, 8 blood vessels. Let's go to figure 11.2. Number 1, hair shaft, 2 sebaceous gland, 3 hair root hair, however you like that, 4 erector pili muscle, 5 hair follicle, 6 apocrine sweat gland. Well, hi there. Good. So let me get back to where I'm supposed to be here. You didn't have to answer the critical application there, but I think you remember that melanin granules are what protect the stratum basale, where all of your skin comes from UV light. So that was basically what that was about. Let's look at part A. Number 1, Juno, 2, Lima, 3, Alpha, 4, Gulf, 5, is that Charlie? Yeah. Or is that an E? Charlie? That's Charlie. Okay. 6 is Hotel, 7 is Delta, 8 is Indigo, 9 is Foxtrot, 10 is Kilo, 11 is Echo, 12 is Bravo. Part B, would you have a drawing there or just what? What was part B? Okay, well, congratulations on 1 and 2. Number 3, epidermal cells at the base of the hair follicle divide and grow, pushing the others outward, and as they die, they become keratinized as part of the hair shaft. 4, pigment is produced in melanocytes. Part C, we did part C, yes? Okay. 1, the epidermis is the outer layer of the skin, while the dermis is the inner layer. The subcutaneous layer binds the dermis to the underlying organs, be they muscles or bones. It says here the epidermis is composed of stratified squamous epithelium. The dermis is composed mainly of dense connective tissue. Subcutaneous layer is aureliar and adipose tissue. You don't have to have all of that, just a smidgen of it will be sufficient. Number 2, cells of the stratum basale are living and divide actively. Cells of the stratum corneum are dead and keratinized and form the surface layer of skin. 3, it contains both elastic and collagen fibers. They give the dermis the qualities of elasticity and strength. Letter D, number 1. The dermis primarily and sometimes into the subcutaneous layer. Wish I knew what that question was. 2, sebaceous glands are connected to hair follicles and secrete sebum into the follicles, and then they come out onto the skin. Now, I'm going to walk around real quick and see your sketches. You folks that are on the Zoom, get ready to hold your book up so I can see it. Good. Oh. Somebody going out. Good. Good. Oh. I wanted to get brown. Yeah. Mine is, I think it's 3. Okay. Good. 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 Fine. 3. Good. Oh, okay. -3. Okay, Ellen, you're the top of my list. Let's see your picture. Okay, good. All right, LaPlante, you're next. You're gonna have to get it right. There's no light where, oh, good job. Nice drawing, bud. Pretty good. How about it, Mackenzie? Nice. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, this, let's see here. What is this worth? Did anybody have a question before I get out of this? Okay. All right, let's do this now then. I need to go to Oncopus here. Come on, machine. And here. And here, and oh, I guess we have to do the little filter too, because we don't want anything else in there, do we? All right, so. Okay, that's what we got there. Yeah, okay, so. Does anybody see level 11? Oh, there it is. So it's out of 41. So here's my plea, because I know sometimes it takes, now you obviously have nothing to attach, but if you could, I think it goes faster, doesn't it? If you just put the score in the bottom. So if you would do that and tell me the number correct out of 41, could you all do that as fast as possible? Yeah. No, not this time, no. And then as soon as you have that and it's submitted, just go to the next thing, which is study guide, and I will pull that up now. Yeah, I sure will, won't I? Yeah, there we go. Oh. Study guide. And I would pull up Miss Brown's one, but I gotta stick to what is bad, and so I'm gonna look at that. Take a minute here to see what that looks like. How far bad does that go? Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Okay, but it is bad. Okay. Kind of give me a look or something when you get to having your study guide up on the screen. Okay, thank you. Let me know when we're there. And if for some reason something does not get submitted, you know that it just stays a 0 till it gets submitted, right? All right, so we're just going to grade this as fast as possible and go from there, okay? All right, can you guys still see my screen? I mean, is it on your screen? I mean, yeah, you got it, okay. All right, so here we go. Are we ready? Is there anybody not prepared to start grading the study guide? Anyone not prepared to? All right, good. Number 1, epidermis. 2, dermis. 3, subcutaneous layer. 4, B, stratum corneum. 6, A, melanin. 6, equal, is that right? I think so. Number 7, dermis. 8, erector pili muscle. 9, C, sebaceous glands. 9, keratinization. 11, A, forehead, and now that's kind of weird. Where, look at how that is. We have A, C, B, D. So is it forehead and eccrine gland? That is correct, right? Eccrine glands. Well, they're not evenly distributed all over because you got very few, if any, eccrine glands here because these are all apocrine here, the same for your groin. Neck and back. Gosh, that one I wish I, I'll take ABC for this one if that's what you had. That'd be fine. Okay. A, B, and C, yeah. Number 12, sweat. Number 13, melanoma. 14, B, eccrine glands. 15, C, muscles. 16, A, evaporation. 17, redness, heat, swelling, and pain. Let's go over these terms. Do I lose my numbers? You don't have numbers, do you? You don't? Okay, so that's why I picked this one. Okay. All right, so cut is skin, derm is skin, epi is upon, folic is small bag, carrot is horn. Going back to the whole idea of horn, you know, animals that have horns, not antlers, but horns, they stay on the head, they're never shed. That's made of keratin. Also, ergo, where that comes from. Melan, black, sebe is grease. What are the components of the integumentary system? Basically, they include skin and its accessory organs. They are the nails, hair, follicles, the sebaceous glands, and sweat glands. Functions of the skin, protective barrier that plays a role in defense against infection. I would say that first in every category. It helps regulate body temperature, maintains the maintenance of fluid electrolytes, etc., by retarding water loss from deeper tissues. Ergo, why when you get burned and you lose your skin, you die of desiccation or drying out. Dehydration. All right, so houses sensory receptors, and it makes chemicals like vitamin D. It also excretes wastes. Oh, we got somebody else wants in there. I must have lost him. So what kind of tissue is found in skin? Well, the tissues found in skin include connective tissues like collagenous or collagen, elastic tissues, epithelial tissue, smooth muscle tissue, and nerve tissue, as well as blood. All those tissues in skin. I'm guessing, is this the stratum basal and all that sort of junk?
Yeah.
Can we just skip this picture? Yay? Okay, all right, let's just do that. Let's go to D. What it says there, function of stratum basal. Well, basically, all of this says that basically it's the bottom part of the layer of the epidermis attached to a basement membrane where rapid growth of cells or rapidly dividing cells are providing all the layers that are above it. If somewhere in that context, that's really part of what I need you to do. Is there melanin down there protecting it? Yes. The melanocytes produce it. That's there too. But that's really all I want. Okay. Stratum corneum, basically the outermost layer made of keratinized cells, meaning they're dead. This layer is waterproof. Basically, dead cells are shed regularly and are replenished by the new cells being pushed all the way from the bottom of the stratum basal. 3, increase rubbing or pressing. Those things all cause corns. If your shoes don't fit right or you got parts that are mashing down on it, that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. E is melanin. And now here we go. Here it says environmental factors influence skin color. Well, ultraviolet radiation and sunlight, melanocytes in the epidermis will produce melanin in response to ultraviolet light and produce additional melanin. This is the pigment that darkens the skin. Physiological factors, well, let's see here. To skin color, the blood and the dermal cells, dilation of those cells. Dilations of these vesicles produce a reddish color of a bluish or reddish skin takes on that you get when you do vigorous exercise. There is a decrease in the amount of oxygen in hemoglobin. Hemoglobin takes on a blue cast, kind of a cyanosis to the skin. A baby who is beginning on yellow vegetables and those primary solid food intake, carrot, squash, sweet potatoes, may also have skin color largely like those things which he or she is eating. Kind of a funny sort of a thing. An increase in bilirubin, that may be the thing that you looked at, also causes jaundice. Dermis, you got a lot of things in the dermis, dense connective tissue. Everything kind of gets its start there, sweat glands, whether they're apocrine or eccrine. You have sebaceous glands that are down there connected to those follicles as well. There's adipose that's probably started at the bottom and fibers that run through there to give it some elasticity and hold to it. Anything to this effect would be great. We good? Gosh, 2 whole paragraphs here. How about that? Huh? Let me read these two. They're a bit different. It says cutaneous carcinomas, the most common form of skin cancers, arise from non-pigmented epithelial cells. They may be basal, down at the bottom, carcinomas, or squamous cell carcinomas, depending upon the areas of the skin that present as scaly lesions on the erythematous base. That's basically the bottom. The most common characteristic of this is not os, a lesion that does not heal, and their locations, in addition to their appearance, they're slow growing and usually easily treated. If you go to see a dermatologist, they can freeze that, just done, and it's done. Those are the quick ones. Cutaneous melanomas arise from melanocytes. Those are at the stratum basale. The cells that divide relatively frequently as they respond to ultraviolet light. They typically have irregular borders and are multicolored with bumpy appearance. You know, when you look at a mole, you have, they're generally, not always, but generally quite smooth all the way around. No part sticks out. Moles can change and other parts can come up and do this, but then what you get when it's the melanoma that we're talking about, it becomes very irregular and around. Are you with me here? That's how you say it's changed. If it was originally this and it's on your parents, which by the way, your parents don't see their backs, et cetera, but you do. And as they age, spots like this become this, that's reason for concern. That's the kind of thing that you're going to answer and see and say, Dad, Mom, you need to have this looked at. Those are the sorts of things that I think that are going to be on your plate. Melanoma spread rapidly once they invade deeper tissues. Once this happens, they're very difficult to treat because they've gone down into and metastasized beneath the layer of your skin. Once it's metastasized, those cells have gone anywhere, literally, within your body. So it is a very difficult thing to treat. Surgical technique used to remove melanomas involves excision of a wide border. What does that mean? Excision of a wide border. You're cutting out not just the cancer, but what? A big wide swath of very good tissues. The problem is these kinds of cancers grow and stick out radiating little arms that might go out several millimeters under the skin that you can't see. So you got to take out a big hump once you've identified this as being that. Biopsy of the lesion is a definitive way to say, I got it all. Literally, they send it away and you get healed and they say, well, no, we got to go back in there and cut it out some more. So then they go back and do it again. You all hear that there? So until they find that all the margins around the edge are clean and devoid of cancer cells. Sorry to beat that horse so long. There you go. Growing portion of the nail located, well, basically it's the white moon-shaped region at the base of the nail called the lunula. How is hair formed? Well, basically each hair develops at the bottom of the tube called the follicle. The base hair follicle contains actively dividing epithelial cells known as the hair root. Follicle extends to the surface of the skin, the epidermal skin, and it says here as the cells move away from the root, they die and become keratinized, and basically that's your hair shaft. Describe how hair responds to cold temperature during strong emotion. What's it do? That little erecti pillar muscle does what? Pulls on it, calls goose pimples, and also the idea is that trying to trapping air against your skin. Is it that effective? Probably not, but it is somewhat that way too. Sebaceous glands, they're attached to the follicle itself. When they secrete, the secretions of sebum get into the follicle and come out on the skin. And once they're there, they make both the hair and the skin moistened, and they also cause it to be somewhat waterproofed in doing that. This labeling job, I think I'm going to let go too. So congratulations on that one. All right, so compare apocrine and eccrine. Basically, apocrine are going to be found in your armpits and in your groin. They're going to have proteins and fats that are with them. They're going to carry an odor with them. Whereas the eccrine are the rest of your body in different places, you know, your hands, your palms, and on other parts where you sweat as well, like your head, neck, and other areas. So these are there. They do not have that protein. They do not have that oil base, and typically do not smell. Okay, now that's not true of everyone in every situation. All right. What about inflammation? Basically, it's a response to an injury. It's meant to promote healing and to wall off damage. Blood vessels cause affected tissues to dilate, then they bring in additional blood to the area and increase its permeability to get there. The increase in permeability forces fluid to leave the blood vessels and enter the tissue. The result of these changes is that the affected area becomes warmer, red, swollen, and painful to the touch. If I have not said this, and I think I have, when you get an owie and you know that it's going to probably swell, you get ice on it. If you get ice on it, that's going to reduce your pain. That's why all these guys that are at games and such, and the PT people, everything else, as soon as you've injured your shoulder, your knee, your ankle, or you got a good shot to the forearm or something like that, they got it iced up. And they realize, okay, we're going to mediate a little bit of the healing you would have so that you don't have pain. And since it's not broken, they later check and see if it is or is not broken. Well, then we know we can just keep icing it to keep the pain down so you can still participate in the sport. Meanwhile, it will heal. It just might be on a different track of doing so. We good? Okay. Healing of a shallow wound and one that extends to the dermis. The idea here is to keep in mind there's going to be new tissue in there, and the tissue that's going to be in there is going to be different than before. Let me give you a for instance here. So here's two parts of my skin right here, and you get a cut and it's shallow. Well, it still starts from the bottom and fills in until here. Well, you're going to have some granules in there, and what's going to happen, the granules are going to make the stitches a little weird, and you're going to get a scar. Now, the only way you can prevent getting a scar is having plastic surgery. And even having plastic surgery, all he's going to do is sew it up, but they're excellent sewing types. They don't get any dimples anywhere when they do this, and they go exactly across from where they go. They're very good hands, etc., to do this sort of thing. And you get medication to put on it daily that literally gets rid of your scar. So you ladies, you have a mistake or something happens in a sport and you get racked on the head, it doesn't have to be a scar that ruins your life. You just, when you arrive at ER, say, I want a plastic surgeon to look at me. Done. All you got to do is request it. And most insurance companies will cover all of that. They will not say, oh, you call the plastic surgeon, we're not going to bother with you, not pay it off. But they do cover it. So keep that in mind. Guys, that's the same for you too. When you have one that's deeper into the dermis, the only difference is you're going to be having fibers there. So fibroblasts will be making elastic tissue, fibers as well as collagenous. And that works from the bottom up, and it takes a while. If you have it stitched and it's a deep enough wound to have that, and you stitch it, well, gee, now there's not as much there they have to put new in. Are you with me here? That will take less time to heal. That's part of the reason why people use, well, we don't want to stitch it, but you got butterflies at home, which accomplish the same thing. And you're just careful with it until it finally does heal, but don't let it go. It's only like a window. I think the window is 6 hours. So if you get a cut that needs stitches, you have to have it within 6 hours or it's useless. It will not work. So keep that in mind as well. Clinical focus questions, do we do them? The ability to maintain body temperature is dependent on the integumentary system. Compare the integumentary system of neonates and elderly, identifying mechanisms that place the two groups at risk. When you have a child, their ability to be able to control their own temperature is limited. They haven't quite developed all the things they need. So it's best that you keep them in mind, what is the temperature, that they don't overheat, nor do they get cold, because they can't adjust. Now, that's neonates. For us who are older, probably even myself starting to be included in this, I generally, when I go anywhere, I've got gloves in the pockets of my jackets. I have hats that I can pull over. I have all those sorts of things for just jackets, because oftentimes I'm like, well, I came here with this jacket thinking it would be this temperature. That's what it says it would be, but it feels different to me. So I put a hat on. Y'all hear what I'm saying here? So we lose the ability to be able to maintain our temperature well. The other thing to think about is that, gee, if I'm getting cold and I don't have other stuff to put on, and someone offers a hat, that's your first thing. You are made just like a smokestack. All your heat and everything goes out your head and neck. Cover your head and neck, and your hands will be warm. Did you hear that? There is truth to that statement. If you cover your head and neck, that's where 80% of your body heat leaves. Here and here. Okay. Based on your current knowledge, list of factors you might think that might regulate temperature. Well, being wet. If you're wet, will you lose heat faster? Yeah, you will. Being in certain locations in the shade and you're hot, being brought to the shade will help. Putting water on your body when you are hot, are you with me, and going into heat stroke, those sorts of things. Now, you could have written just about anything for this and been satisfactory. Now, let me do this as well before the bell rings on us here. I'm going to go out of this, and I'm going to go back to Oncopus here, if it will let me. No, that's not Oncopus. This is Oncopus right there. Skin. Where's old skin? Skin study guide. There he is. Okay, 75 possible. Okay. So what I need this time is for you to attach the document and then tell me your score. And then for my sake, would you write a sentence or so? What parts of this chapter were the hardest for you? Not the number of the question, the theme, the idea. What was it that you found difficult to understand about this chapter? Just one sentence. Do that where you tell me the number correct out of 75. And we are very close to the bell. Are we not? Does anybody have the schedule for today? What is the 15th? We got 5 minutes. How about that? See that you can get both of these submitted today so that you don't have to come back and ask me about that 0 by your grade. Do you folks that are at home, do you guys have any questions, anything at all?
Do you need to check our cheat sheets?
Oh yeah, just hold it up. If you got a cheat sheet, just hold it up the video and then turn it back. Anything there? Okay, good. How about you, LaPlante? You have one? Andrew, do you have one?
What does it do today?
Okay. Alexander, do you have one?
No, I don't.
Alexander, do you? Okay, how about you, Mackenzie? Nada? Okay, good. Anybody here has a cheat sheet, you may bring it up now. Gosh, I thought if we got this done today, is that the whole thing?
Yeah, there was only 2 pages.
Oh, pretty good. Anybody else? There's money. Gotcha.
Mr. Ellis, I did mine. I forgot it. Is there still? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? That done, boy? Yeah, that's done, girl. Good job. Yeah.
Can I show you my cheat sheet on Monday?
Why don't you have?
Because I missed 2 days this week.
Anybody else?
I don't.
Okay.
Nothing's at 3%, Mr. Ellis.
Yeah, isn't that just a pistol? If it can't load today, I mean now in class, just so long as you get it loaded today would be great. That'd be nice if you can. Gee, I didn't think I was getting both done. Wow, how about that? You're all sitting there going, we knew you could do it, Ellis. Yeah. Like I said, it won't load now. Get it loaded later. Just make sure you don't forget because it winds up being a 0. For all intents and purposes for you, the 4 of you, bell's ringing in like 2 minutes. If you guys want to dismiss now, that would be fine. Okay. Thank you all for coming today. That makes me feel good. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mr. Ellis.
Bye. All right, so let's see, how am I gonna get this? Let's try this again. How do I make this go away? Huh. Uh-oh, something doesn't look right. Try again. Stop video. There we go. I guess that worked, didn't it? Okay, let's go over here then. Let's go to courses taught. Yeah, that's not that long, is it? That's a me.
Open the resubmit buttons.
You gotta be kidding me. All right. I will do it, ma'am.
Guess what percentage I'm at now, Mr. Ellis?
What percentage?
10.
Wow, you're really going fast. How many windows do you have open down there on the bottom? I'd get rid of any that aren't working. Okay.
It's at 18, it's flying now.
Okay. Well, gee, again. Okay. 6 study guide scan. Okay, Miss Mantia, let's see if I can fix you. Mantia. There you are, ma'am. You're ready. Yeah.
My study guide or cheat sheet, sorry, on Monday.
Yeah, I see.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I did not prepare for today.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You're welcome.
Did you update the bone study guide?
Gonna do what?
Did you update the bone study guide?
I'm gonna do that one. I have.
Because that one, good pictures.
Oh,
Very
good pictures?
Mhm.
Good.
And those are the
I'll
ones
make
that
sure
you
that
need
gets
the
put in there.
pictures for,
All right.
Because we have the whole, how are we gonna do the bone test with COVID?
Put your head to it and see what you can. I thought, well, as far as
I feel like as long as they're not touching it.
the test, yeah, you typically don't want to do the
Yeah,
test. But I wonder if I did it like on near the faucet on one side and near that side on the other faucet, you know what I'm saying? And we could have people do the test that way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
But when we study it, that's when you got
Yeah.
quite a few people all looking at the same
I mean, could
thing.
you put it in like a plastic bag?
No, then you can't see it. Or saran wrap, same thing.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
then
wears
you still gotta
gloves?
wipe down the,
If everyone wore gloves?
right, that would help. That's a good thought. But my gloves, guess what's on back order for every company I call?
The gloves? Don't you have like a whole lot of gloves back there though? in
Not
that corner?
enough.
Really?
Not
There was
enough.
a lot when I looked back
Look
there.
back there now.
I thought there was a whole lot.
Yeah, look back there now and see how many you got. We don't have any mediums at all.
Hi, Mr. Ellis.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to have you.
So cold in here.
It is not, it's warm. I was about to bear sweat here. Bye-bye, you guys. Have a good night. Yep. Say again?
If you force them to choose between small or large.
Well, here's what I was thinking. At whenever point is that we don't have any, the only thing we can say is, especially with cats, we can't get them because they're telling me they don't know when they're gonna get it. Because, no, the gloves, they were saying it could be this year, maybe not. And I'm like.
Oh, no.
And so
Bare
then,
hand catches.
bare hand,
Oh, no.
or you go to Jewel and you buy those thicker latex gloves, and you buy them for yourself.
I'll keep my eye open for
So that's, I think, what we got before us. Unfortunately.
Okay, I'm gonna head to class. I will see you this
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yep. Well, hi, how are you?
Maybe.
Maybe? Why?
Not feeling ready.
Oh, come on. It's piece cake, you know?
I'm gonna wear this and wear this one. It's so cute. It's so Only the mom.
Just a second, I have to get this on here. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay, just a second.
So I didn't know it was, when it started. Yeah.
Mr. Ellis,
Because I thought they said it's like.
Yeah.
The
I need
full day
to,
schedule.
I need to know